Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. We're going to do the next part of the, I guess you could say the wet sanding and buffing tutorial. This is actually for finishing up on the buffing after you do all your compounds and all your waxing and all that. I've been asked about this several times to do this video, and it's a process that's very simple. It's something that I learned a couple years ago, the best way to do it. And what we're talking about is getting the residual wax out of your panel lines. Once you have everything polished out, all your waxing and all that done, you'll come back in after everything dries up and you'll have this white, basically residue of wax or compounds in your panel lines. Same thing happens on a one-to-one car. And, a one-to-one car is a little bit easier because you can take a rag and, kind of fold it and shove it back in the creases and you can get rid of all that. It doesn't work that easy on a model as far as with a rag, but it is a pretty easy process to take care of. Now, in this particular one here, you can see on that panel line, you can see the white that's in that panel line. That is the compound. It's even up around the roof there. I've already cleaned out the rear panel lines, and I've already cleaned out the panel line on this side here. And we're good to go. Everything looks nice. We haven't put a panel line accent color in here yet, but we're going to do that. But we want to make sure we get everything cleaned out first. So for all you guys that ask about how I go about doing it, in the past, I normally used a Q-tip or a toothpick that was sanded on one end and kind of sharpened a whole lot more than a regular toothpick. And I would slide that around inside the panel lines and get rid of all the crud. And it took a while. Some models it worked better than other models. And I said, there's got to be a better way to do it. Well, there is I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a better way, but it's an easier way and it works for me. It's what I use on my competition models. So I'm going to share it with everybody out there. Here we go. First off, we're going to be using the Novus #1 product. This is the plastic clean and shine. This is what I would recommend for it. But if you have some of the Meguiar's detailer, you can use that also. These two products, that and the Meguiar's detailer, are basically the same product. They do the same thing, so you can use that. That's the first thing we're going to use. We have a piece of microfiber towel here. Same thing that we use to buff everything on the car when we got to the last compounds and to the waxing stage. This is the same type of microfiber towel that I used. And you want something to put a little bit of a liquid in. This happens to be a cut-off cup, but you can use make sure it's clean. You can take a piece of aluminum foil, go out to the kitchen, get a piece of aluminum foil, and make like a little a trough to put some liquid in. Or you can use a brand new cap or something like that, just something you can put a little bit of liquid in. And the key to doing this whole thing is this brush right here. This brush is a 3/8 inch angled shader brush. And you can find these at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any place like that. They're fairly inexpensive. You can buy this brush probably for 59, 69 cents. That's all you need. And as you can see there on the end, it is angled and it has an oval shape to it. And it is pretty soft. But what happens with these bristles is when you push them down against something, they kind of move around and go every which direction. So here's the process on getting rid of this crap that is in the panel lines on your models. After you've wet sanded, after you've buffed with your compounds, and after you've waxed the model, let it dry. This has been sitting here for about 24 hours now. Everything is dried up. That'll show you everything that you need to get out. So make sure you let it dry first, because if you go in and do this step right after, you're probably not going to get it all out at that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of the clean and shine, and we're going to put a little bit into this cup. You don't need much. Now, the one thing that I do not recommend that you do is take this cap off and use this cap, dump a little bit in that and use this cap. You could do that, but you have to make sure that you clean this cap out. Any of the liquid that if you did dump it in here that you don't use after you're done with this process, dump it into the trash can and make sure that you get this cleaned out. Because if not, you're going to take the residue that's coming out of our brush and you're going to dump it right back into this bottle. And you don't want that. You don't want any grit or any contaminants in this bottle. So that's why I use a cut-off cup like that. I can put it there. When I'm done with this whole process, I can throw everything in the trash can. We're ready to go. So now to show everybody how easy this is, as I say, we've got the residue all the way around the entire panel line on this door. What you're going to do is take this angled brush. You're going to load it with the Novus #1 or the detailer. And you're just going to come in and you're going to lightly scrub the panel lines. This is not going to hurt your finish. It's not going to dull anything out. The brush has liquid in it. And mostly what you're getting up out of here is most likely going to be the wax, because the majority of the times the compounds for the most part come back out of your panel lines. It is the wax that really shows up and hardens in there, just like a one-to-one car. And all we're doing now is just, we're just going around. We're going back over the same spots again and scrubbing this Novus #1 around. Just like that. Now we're going to set the brush down. Now we're going to take our microfiber towel and we're going to come in and we're going to buff that whole area out and dry everything up. And using that brush does not hurt bare metal foil. It does not hurt any, part of the model. Dry everything up and look at your panel line. See if there's anything left in the panel line that you need to get out. In this case here, like right here at the cowl, I've got a little bit of wax residue right there, right in this corner right here. You can go in with the brush, hit that. I'm going to make another pass over top of the panel lines just to make sure that we get everything out of them. And that's one of the keys to it. When at the beginning, toward the beginning of this video series, when we did the prep work on the body, I went in and I did the backside of the number 11 blade. I cleaned out the panel lines. That is a very critical step on making a panel line look good when you are done with the model. A lot of people skip that. And then when they get to the end, they try to correct their panel line problem and you can't do it. Because then when you run a knife in there, you're going to knock the paint off the panel line. So that's not something a lot of people want to do. Now, like on this particular model, with it being darker, I would not have to do anything with the panel lines in any way, shape, or form. They are pretty much good to go as is. And we're going to go ahead and clean this front area up here at the cowl a little bit. And we're going to get the junk off of it here. Okay. And now you can see that all of the wax residue is gone out of the panel lines. Everything looks good, and it's that easy to do. There's been a lot of different techniques out there on how to do it, different ways to prevent it. I don't worry about that. This brush, that liquid, and doing that step right there will take care of it. No problem, nothing to it. This step also works for like right around here in the cowl. If you've got bare metal foil and you get a little bit of wax residue around your bare metal foil, same process. You're just going to come in with your liquid. You're going to scrub that. It's not going to hurt the glass. It's not going to hurt the finish. It's not going to hurt the bare metal foil. It's not going to hurt anything. This product is made to clean and shine, and it's actually made to get rid of the residue left from waxing and polishing and things like that. And it'll also get rid of fingerprints. It makes the model less, it reduces the static that the model produces. This product is a very good product. I just went back over that all around the windshield there, around our bare metal foil. And if you've applied your bare metal foil properly, you can go right over top of all of that area, rubbing back and forth. Your bare metal foil is not going to come off. If you didn't apply it properly, there's a possibility that it will catch an edge and pull it up. So, it just depends on how you put the bare metal foil on, whether you can get by with doing this step here or not, like I did, but I don't have any problems with it. On the glass, actually right now I'm holding my fingers behind the glass just to make sure that I don't push anything loose there. And that, my friends, is all there is to it. You can see how clean that is around the windshield. You can see how clear the glass and everything is. Now I have to go back on the inside and clean the inside of it now. But you do that on all your panel lines, any of your low spots that you have, recesses, things like that, around these edges on the cowl, any place that you get wax or any residue in, that is the trick. It's the easiest trick to use. This style brush is the key to it. This, compound here is very good, but like I say, you can use the McGuire's. And another point I want to touch on before we go into any more videos is I have been asked several times about why I put the glass in and I have not painted the inside of this body. And that's actually a pretty good question. We have not put the back glass in yet because we're going to do that on camera. But the reason why I do that is when I put my glass in, like in this case, there's a step all the way around where the glass goes in. So when you glue the glass in, you're going to see the edge of the clear parts all the way around. Now, if this was already painted inside and you put it in there, you're going to have the paint down underneath of the glass, and then you're going to have the glass, and you can clearly see where the glass is installed in the model. So what I like to do is go ahead and get the glass in first. Another thing, if you notice, while we were buffing and doing all the work on this body, we were holding this body like this. We're holding this body up underneath. We've got our fingers in here when we're doing our wet sanding and all that. If you already have your body painted in here, you just ruined all that because that's usually a flat finish, and your oils from your fingerprints, the oils from the compounds and the wax is going to get on your fingers. You're going to transfer it to the paint, and you just pretty much ruined that whole step. But what we're going to do is go in and do a light cleaning on the inside of the body once we get the rest of the glass in. And we're going to take some Vallejo paint that I already have over here, and we're going to do that with basically a simple brush. I do all my interiors that way. The paint flows very well. When you're done with it, you cannot tell it's been done with a brush, and you don't have to worry about taping anything off and spraying or doing anything like that. And when you do that, you can actually come in on the black band around the windshield, and you can paint right up to that edge with the brush, and it actually makes the division point between the glass and the body pretty much disappear. So hopefully I explained that well. Hopefully everybody will try out the panel line technique and give that a shot and see what you think. And then what I like to do is go ahead, once you've got all that cleaned out and it looks good, go ahead and let this dry for a little bit before you do anything else to it. And make sure that you don't have any, residual, wax or anything pop back up, because we did wetten it down when we did this. So let everything dry out. If everything looks good at that point, you can go back in with your panel line accent color and accent the panel lines, and you're good to go. Everything's nice and clean. It'll look good. So in the next video, we're going to go ahead and run some of the panel line accent color from Tamiya, the black. We're going to run that around the 3 recesses that we have there, both doors and the rear door. So stay tuned for that one. So hopefully it answers a lot of questions that's come up on, how to do that step. It's a very easy step to do. It will not hurt your paint. It will not hurt your finish. So that's it. That's all we got for this video. Hopefully, like I say, it did answer some questions out there. Like always, I thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.